Hello guys, this is Mr. A Lot More, your senior Udaku reporter. And of course, a lot more is coming. Niko maeneo fulani, nikicheki. Niko maeneo ya Pearl Green, hapa Kahawa Sukari. I'm having a guest all the way from the United States of America. People say his name is more feminine. Because he's called Yves. How are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Yeah, don't bully me though. Don't bully me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna bully you, bro.
I'm trying to be in Kenya. I'm trying to enjoy my time in Kenya, so I don't want to be bullied, right? But some people that have said that my name is effeminate. Because my name is Yves, but a lot of people they think is Eve. You know what I mean? But it's actually Yves. That's a crazy story. Is there's a time I was doing business, and then I had these clients, and then went to meet him. Then it was like, what's your name? I'm like, Yves. Like, oh man, you should change your name. Because, with that name, you're not going to get businesses. People want to hear the name which has power. And he's like, if I was you, I would just change my name to Steve. I'm like, bro, you're playing too much, man. I'm keeping my name. Yeah.
How are you feeling today?
Bro, I'm feeling great, you know what I mean? I mean, you have me driving the entire city, you know what I mean? I'm a little bit, tired right now because I had to drive from, I was in the city. I was in Karen. Is it called Karen?
Yeah.
I was in Karen and drive all the way. I went to Garden City.
Then you came here.
And then they say, oh, in the wrong spot. You know what I'm saying? So I had to turn around. The good thing is I have a driver for the whole day. So, yeah.
You hired a driver?
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm not going to move around on a motorcycles and shit. You know what I'm saying?
But in Kenya, we prefer motorbikes because of time, So let's dive into the conversation.
Yeah.
You are from the US.
Yeah.
Are you Kenyan?
No, I'm not Kenyan, but Kenya's my second home. You know what I'm saying? I've been to Kenya before, 2014, 2016. I was here. I love Kenya, right? Yeah, I've been to Kenya before, 2014, 2016, right? But I love Kenya. I love Kenyan people. You know what I mean? I love everything about Kenya. You know what I'm saying? So I always come back here. Yeah.
Fantastic. So when did you come, by the way? For how long have you been here?
3 weeks now.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
How are you finding Kenya?
I don't know yet because my whole entire time here, I was, I stay in my house, you know what I'm saying? Because I live a nomadic life, right? So every time I go to another country, I set up office. So it's like walking, I gotta walk all the time. Today was actually my first day to be out, roaming like that. Yeah.
How are you finding, okay, I'm sorry to ask this, how are you finding Kenyan ladies?
Kenyan ladies are fine, you know what I'm saying? I said that they're really, beautiful, you know what I'm saying? But I haven't get a time to go outside and explore, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, you never know. I'm still here.
Make sure when you're going back, you take someone with you.
No, man.
So Yves, why are we doing this interview? Because people need to know why we are here.
Yeah.
Who is this man, Yves? What does he do? Where do we even start?
Man, you can start from everywhere, you know what I'm saying? But today, I want to kind of talk to young people, especially. So I'm talking to the young people, and I want to tell them a little stuff for online work, like online jobs, nomadic lifestyle. When I talk about AI too, you know what I'm saying? So I talk about my business. I'm actually a digital marketing professional, you know what I mean? That's my job. I do a digital marketing. I run my company since 2018. Since freshman in college, that's when I started my first company, digital marketing company. And I've been able to scale the company from zero to over $40,000 a month within 4 years. Yeah.
Wow. So what's the name of the company?
My company name is, the first name we had was CNY Marketers. So the reason why it was called that is because the company was located in New York, in a place called Central New York. So it was CNY Marketers, right? It was a funny name because I was in a student in college, I was a kid. So I was like, oh man, I need some good name. So I picked that one up. But later on, I've been in Kenya before, so I knew something very, really cool. So I rebranded the company to Kwanzaa Incorporated. Yeah.
Wow. Let's talk about Earn in Africa. What does that mean?
Earn in Africa is like a project that I always wanted to do, for a long time. I never had the resources to do it, and I never had the time to do it, right? So over the years, I've been running my marketing company, right? And I have noticed something really, really important. So, if you have a company, for example, a digital marketing company, you have, start with you by yourself, no employees. Then when you start getting more clients, you have to scale, which means you have to get more employees. So I never had any employee in my business. What we have been doing is what you call outsourcing. We get like people in India and Philippines to do the work online, right? So I wanted to hire African people all the time, but it's really, really hard to find African talent. There's no African people. It's really hard to find them. So I don't know. It's really, I think it's informations. I'm saying there's no, information out there. People don't know about it. But you can actually find a really good jobs online, remote, full time. Just being in Kenya. So over the time, once I figured out that, I was like, this is kind of a big problems. And I wanted to kind of come back in Africa, actually, teach people about some remote jobs. You know what I mean? If there's no job in Kenya, you can always find jobs online. You know what I mean? For example, me, my job is remote. You know what I mean? I don't have to be in an office. I've been traveling in Africa since April. I have now gone back into the United States, and I still have the job, the business, and I still make money.
Still working.
Yeah, that's what.
You're still making money.
Yeah.
While traveling.
Yeah, you travel. You know what I mean? You get to travel, and you still get your money come through.
I mean, then that's interesting. Are you like training people?
No, so we haven't started training people yet because, but the An in Africa initiative, that's what it's about. You know what I mean? So right now we have 2 programs, which is General Virtual Assistant. This is more like training people to be more like a PA, like a remote. And then we have another a remote PA, right? It's actually very possible and actually high demand on that. So the next one is what you call digital marketing, where we're training people, to be more like marketers, and you can find like jobs, online. There's too many jobs actually right now, too much demand. So in general, we're gonna be launching a new programs, which is gonna be medical virtual assistant. So this is for people like if you're going to medical school and you can't find a job here, you can actually be able to be a virtual assistant to a clinic or a doctor's office in the United States. So
While you're here.
Yeah, while you're here, yeah.
I mean, how does that work, man?
It's crazy. A lot of people don't know, but it's like this has actually been going on for so many years. And a country like India and Philippines, they're making billions of dollars exporting services to the United States. So what happened is every medical office has what you call a back-end office. A back-end office is something like maybe managing the appointment for patients, submitting like insurance claims, prescriptions, and all kind of stuff like that. So all this stuff can be done virtually. You don't have to be in an office to do it. So American company, they want to hire overseas because it's cheaper. You understand? If I hire like somebody in America to do the same job, you're going to pay them like $20-$25 an hour. But if I hire somebody in Kenya to do the job, I'm probably going to pay them $1,000 a month. So you know what I mean? So that's why there's incentive to hire overseas than hiring locally. Also, if you hire in America, you have to pay insurance for your employees. There's a benefit, 401k, you know what I mean? So hiring overseas is always cheaper than hiring in the country.
Okay. Perfect. I've heard you say that identifying talent in Kenya, in Africa, to be specific, in Africa is very hard. So what do you think about the African education?
Bro, I would say, I actually want to talk about a little bit about talent. I have had a bad experience with African talent all the time, most of the time, right? And I believe 85% of people that are lazy, and 5% people that are actually hardworking people, right? Number one, I have hired people here in Africa to do my jobs. When I was in Tanzania, for example, I was there for 2 months. I tried to hire somebody, and I was paying them more than they ever get paid in the country. But these people are gonna still show up late. They're not gonna come on time, and you're gonna have like maybe. If let's say we have a work tomorrow, and you're gonna call them like, hey, I want you to send me this report. They're gonna be like, oh man, I had a family emergency. You know what I mean? So stuff like that. But what we're trying to do right now with On in Africa, we are basically an education company. We focus on training people. You know what I mean? So we train you. Actually, we have 2 departments. So we train you, for example, into like a general virtual assistant. We train you into like something like digital marketing, and then after we train you, we push you to what you call a virtual assistant recruitment agency, which is also in-house. So our agency helps you find a job. So you don't have to train and you just by yourself. You train, you go in our agency, and we help you find the jobs. And I'm saying, so what I can say about African education is a little bit, I would say it's a scam. You know what I'm saying? It may sound bad, but it's a scam, right? Let's take what is a scam? When you define a scam, what is a scam? A scam is when you pay for something but you never get it. Understand? So when you go to school, what do you expect when you go to school?
Skills.
skill and get a job, right? And how many people do get a job after school?
A very low percentage.
What did you study in university?
I did journalism.
Okay, did you get a job in journalism?
I created it myself.
But if you didn't create it, you will never have get a job.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So you tell me that's not a scam? No, let's be honest.
So what I did in college was a scam.
It's a scam, you know. You go to school, you know, your parents sell the cows, sell the land, sell it. They put you in a school. Well, only with the one believe that you're gonna get out of school
Get a job.
and you get a job. But you go to school, you come out no job. You know what I'm saying? So number two is the school takes too long. 4 years is a long time to be waiting to get a job. You know what I mean? So and also we have also to think about something like AI. You know, how is your education fitting in with the new economy? You know what I mean? Are you gonna be able to find a job in 10 years? What you're studying right now, is it gonna be relevant in 10 years? You know what I'm saying?
So what you are saying is education is scam.
I think we need to change the way we educate people. You know what I mean? And this is not just in Africa. This, I think, is globally. You know, for example, you go to school to study. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you go to school to study computer science. You know what I mean? So if you go to school to study computer science, you have to study coding language, right? Computer language. Maybe C++, Java, Python, you know what I mean? HTML, you know what I mean? CSS. All those programming, right? But you go to school, you're going to study maybe 2-3 programs a year. You know what I mean? So you study two, you finish school. By the time you finish school, you forgot the program you started with. The program you studied 4 years ago, you don't remember them anymore. You know what I'm saying?
You're making it look like a scam.
It is a scam. You know what I mean? So you finish school with a degree, you spend thousands of dollars on this degree, right? And then you come outside, you have forgot everything you learned.
But you have the skills.
You don't. Because number one, computer science, every year they're going to update the software. What you study today is not the same as the next year. So instead of you going to spend 4 years in university, why don't you go spend 6 months studying only one language? You take 6 months and be like, okay, good. There's so many programs, but I'm going to study JavaScript only. And it takes 6 months. You're going to be good at it. In 6 months, and you're going to go get a job. You understand? So, and this is what we're trying to do with Anu in Africa, is the world has changed. We no longer live in cavemen. And I'm saying we live in a modern world, globalized world. I'm saying we can get a job. You can be in Kenya and work with American company, but what skill do you need to work with them? You know what I'm saying? So for us, we give you skills, and in 3 months, we prepare you. Within 3 months, you're ready to get a job. You don't gotta go spend.
How do you assure them that they're going to get the job?
We created.
What assurance are you giving them?
Okay, that's I'm gonna answer for you that, right? We created what you call a recruitment agency, right? Yes. We have built enough connections in the market. I've been in business for about 5 years. And I'm saying we know where they're hiring. And I'm saying we know what they need. We train you. We give you the demand is already there. The problem is supply of talent. For example, Canada right now has a deficit of employee of 700,000 people. They have a shortage of 700,000 jobs are vacant right now in Canada. Germany has hundreds of thousands jobs vacant. So who's gonna fill the jobs?
Your trainees.
You have to train. You know, people have to learn. And I'm not even saying you have to train with me. My whole point is, you need to evaluate yourself. You know what I mean? You need to be like, okay, I went to school for this. I don't have a job. You know what I mean? But you have to ask yourself, where, the Kenya doesn't have job for me, but where can I export my skill? Where is my skill needed? Or maybe I should go take a course. Maybe I should go study maybe something. You don't have to come with me. What I'm just saying is, like, get a skill, get yourself ready, and get your discipline right, man.
Okay. Hey, perfect. What is that? Let's talk about digital economy. What do you mean when you say digital economy? I mean, what do you train people about?
Okay, so back in 1800, there was industrial revolutions, right? And that's the one people were moving from the farms, moving to the city and working in the factories, right? And then in the 1999, in 90s, we had internet revolution, right? The internet came to play. So internet revolutionized informations over time. to the point whereby internet became even you make money off the internet. So you also yourself, you're a part of the digital economy. And I'm saying digital economy is basically a concept of making money online. It's so the digital economy, something like digital marketing. I'm saying everything is on digital now. Everything is on internet, right? So we have to understand that today, as we live in what you call informational economy, service economies, right? So we don't have to export sugar to Europe no more. We can export service too. Understand? For example, like people, the government always say like, oh man, we have to produce, products and export them to. No, you don't have to. Africa, the biggest asset Africa has is talent. There's no other place on this planet that have as many young people as Africa does. You know what I'm saying? And what we're gonna do, we can export the service virtually on a digital market. I mean, this can include like, like your skill, for example. This kid is like an editor, right?
Yeah.
He can be online. People in America sending him video, editing the video and send them back.
So it's like online writing.
Online writing is a little bit. I think online writing is a part of digital economy. That's for sure. But that's not. I think it's just a small part of it, right? And also online writing is dead. If you're doing online writing, quit. I'm telling you, it's quit, bro. You know what I'm saying? The ChatGPT is already here. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get another skill, man.
Okay. Let's move on. I've heard you say that education is kind of scam.
Yeah.
So how would you define the Kenyan job market?
Kenyan job market is sad, man. I feel bad. I was watching a TV the other day, and I saw this on TV. That there was a job vacant, 3,000 job vacant for cleaning in Nairobi, right? And then when they asked people to come to apply, there was like 30,000 people showed up for 3,000 jobs. And the funny thing is, these are cleaning jobs, but the people who are showing up, they're engineers. You know what I'm saying? They went to school for engineering. You know what I'm saying? So, it's sad. I really love Kenyan people. I think they're really, really smart, because Kenyan people are probably the most educated people in East Africa, to be honest, right? So, I think if you're a educated person and you have some skills, right now you should be looking into how to actually export your skills to a different market. You know what I mean? Maybe start going to Fiverr, you know what I'm saying? Find some gigs on Fiverr, you know what I'm saying? Go on Upwork, go on all these platforms, get some clients from overseas who actually need you because they need you. You know what I mean? It's like your director right here. If I was in America and I hired this guy to film this way, I'm going to pay him at least $1,000 for a day.
For a day?
For a day to come here and film. You know what I'm saying? But here, you get to pay maybe like $100 a day or something. I don't know. Maybe like $100, right? But so people who are like in America or Europe, they will happily send him video to edit cheaper to save costs. So if you are somebody in Kenya and you are educated, you have some skills, so always find a way to export it, right? Also, let's talk about how unfair it is for the young people, right? And I really sympathize with a lot of young people because I'm one of them. So let's say you went to school, you did everything they asked you, showed up on time, you know what I'm saying? You didn't go to parties, you know what I'm saying? You didn't go to women, you study so much, you get some good grades, and you come outside, no job, broke. Actually, you're broker than before when you went to school because now you have spent because now you have spent all the money. You know what I mean?
So, thank you for that sentiment. Mm-hmm. Then I would like you to ask you a question because I believe you're so passionate about youths.
I'm telling you.
Are you?
Bro, that is my, listen, I left United States to come here to Africa. You understand? I have a good company in America, beautiful girl, 2 dogs. I would have been staying there, right? But this is something like it's more like, for me, it's more like a destiny. Okay. You know what I mean? I always say like no man works out his own destiny.
So let me ask you, you are so passionate about youths.
Yeah.
So what do we do to reduce the rate of employment, especially for the young people?
The only, as I was telling you before, these young people, these young kids that are going to school and focus and come out smart, and then they're broke, but they see somebody like a politician who never went to school, what I'm saying, is pushing a Range Rover, you know what I mean? And also somebody comes say like, oh, why you not getting married? Most of these young people, their dream girl is dating a guy who has the same age as their father. You know that? Am I lying?
That's true, bro.
Because they don't have no money. So you have no money, you can't get married. Because your dream girl is dating your father or your grandpa. You know what I mean? So I think the only way, the only solution...
Is that happening in the US?
I mean, at some level, but it's not like here, dog. Here is really, really worse, man. I feel...
Percentage ratio?
In America, it's like... I would say it's very rare, you know what I mean? I don't... You don't see that on an everyday basis. Because, in America, you have young professionals. People finish university, they have a good jobs. They make good money. They're not broke. You know what I mean? So the only solution to reduce the unemployment, for example, if a country like Kenya to provide jobs for everybody, the GDP of Kenya has to grow at least 10 tons. You understand that? Yeah. So it means that the GDP of Kenya has to go from $110 billion to $1 trillion, which means Kenya will be automatically a developed country. Yeah. So how long do you think it's going to take for Kenya to grow 10 times? Kenya GDP right now grows 5% a year. To grow 10 times, it's going to take at least a century. So the only way you can, get people to get a job is to export the talent where it's needed. That's the only solutions. You know what I'm saying? You're going to either take okay, people who have talent here, maybe there's a shortage of talent in South Africa. We got to export it. Or we got to, invest in young people. But we live in a very unfair society, really, really unfair. And that's why I always say, I don't respect you old people no more. You know what I mean? Because old people are very greedy. Look, politicians, how old are they? They're all old. Look at business executives. So how do you expect young people to have money? You know what I mean? Then that's why we have countries whereby there's no new ideas, because we have old people in the running countries, running businesses, and young people with idea, they don't get funding. Nobody's investing in the young people. You know what I mean? So now we have countries which is, all you see is the real estate. Real estate is not a good business. You know what I mean? How do you invest in a real estate in a developing country? Developing country, you invest in a developing businesses, in a growth market. You don't invest in the real estate. Real estate does not make money. It's just a structure. But, a young man like you may have a great idea to change, how Kenya works, right? Mm-hmm. But why will you get somebody to give you 10 million? Where? You can't get somebody to invest you with 10 million. You know what I'm saying? So that's how young people that are broke, have no job, have no money, they can't get married. You know what I'm saying? And when we have a greedy old people running the country and running the businesses, and then you're gonna have old young people that's so dumb that they're going to vote for old people. You know what I mean? The young people are the majority in this country. How do we have old people running the countries? I'm just telling you, man. Don't mind me.
Okay. Let's talk about immigration. What do you think about it?
It would be a little bit hypocrite because I did migrate to the United States myself, right? But I think, back in the day, like in the 70s, 80s, people would, migrate to Europe, to America to find jobs, right? But, that time, United States was more like a productive country. There were factories. Now America doesn't have factories. America and Europe is a service economy, fully fledged service economy. It's expensive to produce anything in America. So what happens is they produce everything in China. Understand? So if you are Kenyan talent, I don't think you should migrate to United States or Europe. It's useless. You know what I'm saying? Because if the same job you're gonna go get, it's a service job, you can do exactly the same job paying here. Remote.
You export the talent.
You can export the talent without moving. And the best thing about it is you have a lower cost of living in Kenya. So if you get paid like $5,000 in Kenya, You get to ball. You know what I'm saying?
Live like an MP.
Yeah, you live like an MP. You see what he just said? That's what I'm saying.
How
Live
much?
like an-
How much did you say?
See, what you just said. Living like
Oh,
an MP.
okay, let's
Because
start.
the politicians that they want with the money. You know what I'm saying?
I know I did say
You
that.
say living like an MP. You know. Mhm. I said like if you make like $5,000, which is not impossible. It's actually
Live a flossy life.
so yeah, in America you're not gonna. It's not a great life because you have a rent of like $2,000. That's half of the money is gone. But if you come in Kenya, you're gonna be the big guy in town. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Is it's very important that young people start thinking bigger than Kenya. You know what I mean? Our company mission is simple. You know what I'm saying? Taking African talent to the global market. You know what I mean? So there's already challenges. I understand. There's some challenges African people deal on a global market. Number one is a narrative, which is already on a global market. Some people in America or in Europe, they think that African schools are useless. So they don't really trust African talent, right? Number two, some people, they believe that Africa doesn't have Wi-Fi and electricity. So they'd be like, okay, if I hire African guy, how the fuck is he going to do any work if he doesn't have Wi-Fi and electricity? You know what I'm saying? But I know it's a lie. It's just the media. So, our job also, in the process of exporting African talent to the global market, we have to change. We are changing the narrative at the same time. So to do that, we have to train people. So when we give you a referral to our clients, we actually believe that you can perform the job. We're not just giving you, hey, this guy can do the job, but we don't know. Then you go there, you do the wrong job, and then you keep reinforcing that mentality that Africa is a bad place. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. I'd like you to take your time, talk to young people out there, tell them how they're gonna get the online jobs, how they're gonna export their talents to the Western countries. I mean, just talk to the young people.
I mean, I love young people, right? So number one, if you want to win in life, right, as a young person, focus is very, very important. I mean, you have to be really, really, really focused, and you have to have a desire. I was talking with my driver on the way here, how some people, they're very comfortable with poverty. You know what I mean? And I've seen this a lot, especially in Tanzania and Kenya. People are really comfortable with poverty, comfortable with being poor. You know what I mean? And they will cry that they don't have jobs, but when you give them a job, they don't show up on time. They will cry that they don't have jobs, but when you give them a job, they're like, oh, that's a small pay. I'd rather be poor than taking that money. You know what I mean? So as a young person, you need to be able to, when you're young, all you have is time. You understand? So you need to be able to be like, okay, I know you're not paying me enough money, but I'm going to put in some work until I get some experience. You know what I'm saying? And number two, as a young person, you need to think about education you're getting. You have to question it. Is this education really going to help me in the future? Is this education really going to be relevant in 10 years? What if AI come? Am I going to still have a job? You understand? So you have to ask yourself those questions. And you also have to look at yourself in the mirror and say like, okay, what is my weakness and where is my strength? So when you know your weakness and your strength, now you know how you attack the job market, right? So, but the most important thing is discipline. Definitely, you're gonna have a lot of discipline. Show up on time. You know what I mean? Just show up, man. And then you're gonna have to have a goal in life. Have some desire, even if your desire is to marry the beautiful woman. But at least have some desire. Then the desire will actually help you not be comfortable with poverty. So the second thing is you need to get some education. Learn something that can be exported. Learn a skill that is global. Don't learn a skill that doesn't have any use when you leave Kenya. So when you learn a skill, like for example, like digital marketing, anywhere you go in the planet, you're gonna get a job. You don't have to be in Kenya. So, but when you study something like there's a guy called me the other day. It's actually funny. He was calling me like, yo, what's up? How you doing? I'm like, cool. I'm like, what did you study? He said he studied what is it? Is it crisis management? Something like that. What is that? It's something funny. Is disaster management.
That's a course?
I guess in Kenya that is selling students. That's what I told you, it's a scam. They're selling students. Disaster management like that, it's useless, and it's not gonna serve you no good. So the best thing you're gonna do is learn something which is global that can be applied everywhere.
Okay. Fantastic. How are people gonna reach you?
So the other thing, to reach me, do you mind if we put some links in the descriptions and stuff?
Okay.
Yeah, sure. We're gonna put some links like my Instagram. You know what I mean? I post the links for like what else? My YouTube channel to pay maybe. You may find some useful content over there. And then we're gonna put the link. Maybe if you wanna apply to join my agency, if you wanna go through the course, we're gonna put some link. You can sign up for that. I think it's gonna be great. You know what I mean? So our long-term mission is simple. It's just to help you get a job, don't get comfortable with poverty. You know what I mean? Like it's really sad. For me, I don't sympathize with people who are lazy. You know what I mean? And 85% of people who don't want to work, I don't sympathize with them. But I do sympathize with the kids who are very, very disciplined, who went to school, didn't miss a school, who didn't party, who didn't go into girls, who didn't do anything except study and get a good grade. And then those kids that come outside, they can't have a job, and the kid who didn't do good in the school is having a job. You know what I mean? So those are the kids I'm sympathizing with. If you're among the 5% of people.
Amazing content. Bye bye.